Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to the one of the first videos in the Marvel United X-Men campaign. So I've done the videos on all the first Marvel United stuff that came out, which had Avengers, Spider-Man, all the Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor, all the cinematic universe type characters, the Defenders, all those cool guys. So this set is all based on X-Men. So I've already done the unboxing for the core set, which I have in my hands right here. And I'm going to be doing a series of videos on all of the other new expansions. So of course we have First Class, X-Force, Phoenix Spy, Days of Future Past, Deadpool, Special Fantastic Four cameo, Age of Apocalypse, way up here at the top. Blue Team, Gold Team, stretch goals. We got special dashboards we'll go through. Plastic tokens, some extra locations. So there's a lot of content. Each one's going to be its own separate video. But if you want to know a little bit more about gameplay, I probably either done it in the original Marvel video, or I'll end up maybe making a new one with the X-Men characters. So there's a little bit of that. So I'm just going to hop in on what is in everything. I just wanted to do a quick setup on the beginning of these videos. So if you enjoy whichever video this is, check out the rest of them to see all of the other campaign for the X-Men sets that are coming out. So without further ado, we'll jump into this video. Alright, so this box set, we're going to look at X-Men First Class. So we've seen the current iteration of the X-Men with Cyclops and Storm, Beast and Wolverine, but now we're going to look at the original team. We have, of course, the Avenging Angel, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Beast, and Cyclops. Also hiding in the back, we have Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who notably helped the X-Men a lot. But in this is when they're still part of the Brotherhood of Mutants. So they're going to team up to take down the X-Men on Magneto's behalf. So it's an interesting also way to play. So here's our little rule sheet, just mentioning beginning of the mutants. So they're going to show off the things. Welcome to the school for gifted youngsters. So there's a couple unique things in here. So we're going to get our 5 heroes. We're going to get our 2 villains, which are actually 1 villain combined. Hero deck for each. We're going to get special training mode. There's also a special Danger Room challenge. So it says, unlike the other challenges, Danger Room is not meant to make the game more difficult, but instead to give the heroes extra push they might need. It can not only aid in inexperienced players, but also help anyone tackle the most daunting villains, or make up for unbalanced hero teams, or work in tandem with other challenges. So during the setup, attach the Danger Room to the bottom of the hero's starting location, shuffle the training cards, and place the deck face down near the room. So we're going to get this special little, let's just show that off quick. Yeah, a special little Danger Room token. It says alternate, end of the turn, gain 1 training card. That's a little background thing. So this will, if we get rid of that. So let's say our first location is Xavier School for the Gifted. What we can do is you just set this on the bottom there, then your threat card still goes on there. But instead of end of the turn, you can either gain 1 training card, or you can use the school's gifted ability as well. So it's a fun little extra thing, like I said. Maybe something to help out newer players. Sorry, I got crap everywhere. Yes, that's a fun little extra thing. We'll look at those training cards. So the training cards are all disposable hero games, but are not considered part of the hero's hand or deck. If heroes fail, they must discard all their training cards, though. Training cards may use them during their turn, either before or after playing hero cards. There's no limit to the number they may have or how many they may use. So we'll look at that. It's just a fun little addition to the game. Alright, so first off, let's look at our brand new locations we're going to get. And we've already looked at this one, but let's see if I can look at it in focus. So Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters, so it has 2 civilians on it. End of turn. Another hero in this location may either draw cards until they have 3 in their hand, or gain one of the 3 tokens. So that's actually kind of fun. The first place they battled Magneto, Cape Citadel. End of the turn. If there are any civilians in this location, you may deal 1 damage to a henchman or a thug, or a henchman in this or an adjacent location. So yeah, so some army people here, they'll help attack other guys. And then Magneto can retreat back to Island M, where he can hang out. End of the turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to gain 1 wild token. So that actually might be very useful. Like, you'll limit your hand, while you gain some more life back. We also gain a wild token, which maybe if you only have move cards and you need an attack card or vice versa, that might actually be very beneficial. And then, of course, the backs of these will have X-Men First Class on them. So then let's look at these challenges. So we just got, one of our challenge cards. 1 to 4 player. It says, attach setup. Attach the danger room to the starting location. Once the location threat has been cleared, heroes can choose to use the danger room's end of turn effect instead. Drawing a training card. These grant either permanent effects or discarded once it takes effect. And then let's look at what all those do. We'll get through all of them, and then we'll look at the regular character cards. So the little training cards are these little tiny guys here. And then they're going to either be red, which are discard effects. So add 1 movement symbol to the bottom of the card you're currently playing. Valid as long as it's in the storyline. So I'd probably just set this on that card as a reminder. But yeah, that way if the next player uses it, they get it again. Or if you have something, an ability lets you use something from a previous action, that'll help too. So we got 1 that does that except for attack. 1 for heroic. Then we have draw 2 cards and discard 1 to the bottom of your deck. Deck drawing doesn't hurt at all. Draw 1 card and discard 1 crisis token from anywhere. That might be beneficial. And then we have some green ones, which are permanent effects. You may deal 2 extra damage to a henchman you dealt at least 1 damage to this turn. So extra boost. You may deal 1 extra damage to a villain you dealt at least 1 damage to this turn. At the start of your turn, you may add 1 action token of your choice from the pool to a threat of your location. So that's actually kind of neat. So you can add a civilian or a thug if you need to. Then we have, if you used an attack before using a heroic this turn, gain an extra heroic. Then we have the opposite. If you use a heroic before using an attack, gain an extra attack. When you use a move action to move, you may take another hero with your location with you. And then finally, we have, if at the end of your turn you are in the same location as a villain, you may move them to an adjacent location. So these fun little extra things make some of these box sets maybe a little bit more interesting to buy than just the characters. You might be like, I'm not really sold on the first class characters, but this training mode might be enough to do it. Maybe the locations are enough to help you out. And that's what I like about this. It's not just, it's these characters. Not really a huge fan of them characters, but it might be worth buying for some of the other challenge modes or other little extra things. So let's look at our team. Let's start off with good old Scott Summers' Cyclops. So here's the back of his card. They're in their yellow and blue uniforms. So this is when he's still starting out, so he's still the leader of the X-Men, but he's very inexperienced. So he doesn't have any starting cards. But there's going to be his first class. So he has a move attack, double attack, some move heroics, just some heroics and some double heroics. Of course, we get our wilds. And then his ability cards. So he's going to get 2 copies of Optic Blast. Deal 1 damage to everything else in this location except Havoc. Discard all civilians here. I love that they include that because you can't hurt his brother. Even though technically he didn't even know his brother was still alive at this point in the comic books. And it's also interesting because his ability also doesn't work against his other 2 brothers. Kind of. I mean, I guess he can technically hit. They've shown and stuff it doesn't work against Adam X, but he's not in the game. And I don't believe he's in the game. I don't think they put him in here. They might have. I don't remember. There's so many extra characters. But the other one's Vulcan. Yeah, I think he can actually hit Vulcan with his ability. Just Vulcan has the ability to manipulate energy. But yeah, that's kind of an interesting little thing they threw in there. To discard all civilians here. So it's kind of like showing his optic blasts are still, they're powerful, but they're still uncontrollable. But then if he needs to control, he has 2 copies of Precision Blast. You can deal 1 damage to an adjacent location, and you can move. So yeah, he's not super strong, but he gets to do some fun stuff. So there's his miniature there. So that is Cyclops. Then let's look at the lovely Marvel Girl, Jean Grey. So there'll be a back of her card. Let's look at her miniature right away. She's got that psychic thing where they touch their head and they stick their hand out. But I love that she's Marvel Girl and not Jean Grey. And this is before she got her. They all started getting their individual costumes, like where Cyclops stuck with the yellow and blue, but she went with like her green dress. So we got a movement attack using her telekinesis, double attack, heroic, move heroic, double heroic, her wilds, which everyone gets, and then she's got an array of abilities. So she's got telekinesis, so she can use a heroic or an attack in an adjacent location, and then she can move, or she can use this heroic and attack, but has a heroic on the bottom, or heroic and attack with an attack on the bottom. So she gets different ones for different situations, and then she has one that also does wild. So that's really fun. So she gets the same card essentially 4 times, but she gets the other ability a little bit different to adjust where she needs to. So that's a fun little thing with her. There's not a lot to talk about with each of these cards, but that's alright. So let's look at good old Bobby Drake. So this is Iceman. This is a little bit later, because actually showing he looks like he's more ice than snow. The original one was more snow, but that's all right. But yeah, his sculpt is really cool. Like that base has like ice on it. Thing where he has like an icy, snowy texture. It's not like the round snowman version. But you see him throwing like a snowball, versus him being like the slick, smooth ice, regular Iceman, or the like more current one. Alright, so we're gonna have movement. Of course, he's gonna have movement. He's gonna slide around on his ice slides. Move attack. Just some attacks. Double attack. He's got a shield, so he gets heroic move, just heroic, He got his double wilds. And then his special abilities, he has 2 of the same one of freeze. Attach a frozen token to a villain in your location. The next villain turn, that villain cannot move, and the token is discarded. So we are going to get 3 copies of freeze tokens. They're little snowflakes. So it's actually I think the first character that got special tokens. So it's actually kind of cool. And then his other 2 cards are the same ones as Ice Slide. Place a frozen token on your location. Heroes may leave this location without performing a move. Beginning your next turn, discard that move token. That's actually cool, because you got one that stops enemies, one that lets his friends move. Helps, kind of play around. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Got different mechanics. This set adds a lot more characters that use tokens, which I think was a very good addition. Up next we have Hank Mccoy. So this is Beast when he's still in his human form, I guess. Before he got a little hairy. So he's got big, bulky. Surprised they didn't have him like upside down doing a handstand. Alright, so of course I say that, and then his picture is him upside down doing exactly what I just said. So he's got attack, he's got some movement attack, he's gonna get some movement out of this. Some more movement and heroics. His 2 regular heroic and double heroic, where he's doing some science. His wilds. And then his cards. So he's got Brilliant Student. So you got 2 copies of that, which is gain 1 movement, heroic or attack token, plus its move heroics. He wants to. This beast is not the physical beast. He's a big brawny guy, but he's showing off his intelligence and his agility, versus being a brute, which I really like. But then you get Star Athlete. So you got one that gives him heroic with moving heroic, and then he has the other one's attack and moving attack. So depending on which direction he's trying to go with that. But yeah, that's really fun. He just bounce around everywhere, which is what Beast should be doing. Then our final X-Man for this set, we didn't get an extra version of Professor X in a wheelchair, which would have been kind of fun, is we got Angel before he's Archangel. Which again is nice because you can get differences between these characters. So there he is, he's kind of like on some rocks. He's up in the air a little bit. Big old wingspan. At least it's not his champion's outfit, right? The suspenders. If you know what I'm talking about. So of course he's going to have movement. Movement attack. I love this because it's the chibi version of like an Alex Ross artwork. Movement heroic, just some heroics, an attack, some wilds. So of course he's gonna have lots of stuff where he gets to move around because that makes sense. So he's got 2 copies of Worthington Industries Resources. Distribute 2 wild tokens from the pool amongst any number of heroes, and he has double move. And then he has 2 copies of Attack from Above. Move to any location and defeat 2 thugs there, but he doesn't give any extra abilities to anybody. But yeah, be able to move anywhere and just automatically take out 2. You could keep an area from overflowing. You could finish off an area. Move away from a villain just if you need to. Plenty of different things you could do with that. But yeah, so he's definitely a fun looking character. I don't have any complaints about any of these guys whatsoever. Alright, so up next we're going to have our villainous duo. We'll zoom out a bit for this one. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, part of the Brotherhood. So special setup. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver start in the same location. If you play as a supervillain, the heroes get 2 wilds and 2 attacks. So they utilize this green and red colors. The special rules are thugs and civilians are added based on Quicksilver's location. When Scarlet Witch or Quicksilver are defeated, they remain in play and act normally. The heroes only win if both of them are defeated. When a hero is KO'd, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver don't activate their BAM. Instead, draw a master plan and add it face down to the story. Alright. So, Quicksilver has a lot more health than Scarlet Witch. But Scarlet Witch's BAM is deal 1 damage to each hero in Scarlet Witch's location and adjacent locations. Quicksilver's is deal 1 to each hero in locations Quicksilver left, entered, or moved through this turn. So it kind of works sort of like how Juggernaut did. Makes sense because he's going to be running around. So any place he's been, he's going to do 1 damage. And then Overflow, if 1 or more tokens can't be added to a location, draw a master plan, add it face down to this storyline. So you have to KO both of them, but the other one still stays in place. If you focus on like Scarlet Witch and you KO her, she stays in place, still does damage and everything, but you just have to then worry about KOing Quicksilver. So it's kind of a neat little gimmick. Alright, so then we can zoom back in, we can take a look at their cards. Let's take a look at their minis though. So we got Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Here's Scarlet Witches. And now both of these guys are in the Marvel set, the original not base game, but the original Marvel United set. So you could potentially, if you really wanted to, have Quicksilver fight off against Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch fight off against Scarlet Witch. It's kind of an interesting thing. Or if you like their minis better, you can use those. So their cards are going to look like that. I'll scoop that back a little bit. So this is how theirs are going to work. They're going to have split things. It'll tell you where they go. And then where they go. And then they have a nice little icon. Usually it's a little target symbol showing it goes there and then it goes to the other areas. It's going to show Quicksilver because it always goes to wherever he's at. So you have move 2, get some, drop some civilians, some higher movement abilities. You know, these are that special, just 4s and 3s, just BAM. They don't get any giant special effects, but a lot of BAMs. Which, of course, their BAMs, every time they BAM, they do lots of damage. And if they KO, if they overflow and stuff, then they actually get add more master plans. And if they KO people, don't activate their BAM. Instead, they get add more master plans, so they'll run through their deck even quicker. Alright, so we do have some special cards. 2 copies of Reality Warping. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are placed in their starting location at full health. Oh, that sucks. Face down master plan cards are shuffled back into the deck. Place the heroes in their starting location. Each hero with less than 3 cards in their hand draws cards from the start of the storyline until they have 3 cards in hand. So she kind of resets everything. So heroes go back to theirs. Less than 3, they get a draw back up. So that's fun. Draw from the start of the storyline until they have 3 cards. So they're pulling cards from the storyline, not from their deck, back into their hand. And any face down card stuff that happened from the boom. So it's just kind of resetting it. So it's not bad if it's resetting everybody's. Then Quicksilver has 2 copies of Superhuman Speed, which is 6, which means he's hitting every location. Says deal 1 damage to each hero in the game. Quicksilver can't take any damage until the next villain turn. And then if somehow his BAM effect hit because of that, that would be terrible. I don't think it can, but if it did. Alright, so then there are threat cards. So we have threats. We're going to get 2 copies of Sibling Bond. As long as this threat is in play, whenever Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch would be defeated, they go back to 1 health instead. We have 2 copies of Troubled Loyalty. When this threat is cleared, delay the next villain card by 1 turn. So they're kind of like, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And then 2 copies of Chaos Magic. Heroes starting their turn on this location must play their card randomly. Then place 1 heroic token from their pool on this card. Yeah, so it's kind of, so it'll have them, but it'll eventually probably solve. It'll eventually solve itself, if they can't. Yeah, so that's definitely an interesting little mechanic in game setup. With them getting to play double. Also with that in the danger mode, some really cool stuff in here. And the tokens and all this cool stuff they have. So that is our X-Men First Class set. We're gonna drop the box. Yeah, so you get the 5 new characters, the dual villain set, which is a really interesting mechanic. Danger room mode, which is fun. And then yeah, you have Magneto come up and he's gonna have to whoop his children instead of working for them. You can play as Magneto in this game now. So definitely cool stuff there. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Bye.